Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
This is your host, Alicia Debrell from Insight Media. Today I get to interview Kristin Swarcheck. Kristin's an entrepreneurial powerhouse whose mission is to help high-profile professionals and entrepreneurs to exchange the workaholic tendencies, self-limiting beliefs, and pressure to perform, with a plan to execute while manifesting epic success with speed, grace, and ease. So without further ado, I want to welcome Kristin to the show. Hi, Kristin. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Alicia. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, this will be fun. So let me just jump right into this. So can you tell me a little bit about yourself and where you're from?
Sure. I'm a certified executive coach, and I began my coaching business back in 2007. And that was a time where I was going through a lot personally, and my mom became sick with cancer. I was thinking about a divorce, and I realized that I had to go inside and start to find out who I was. So that's what really motivated me to be a coach. And I also had a consulting business since 2000 doing strategic initiatives, and I really loved that. So I was able to merge the two, and it's really been an amazing ride. I'm also a mom of 3 girls who I adore, and I practice yoga and just recently got certified to teach it. And I'm also a Reiki master.
So who do you help and how do you help them?
I work with entrepreneurs, coaches, and executives, and I help them go inside and find out who they are. It might be for the first time ever, because a lot of times we live our life unconsciously. So my goal is to help them master success, to break out of their analysis paralysis, and to learn how to take imperfect action to make small incremental steps daily to transform their business. A lot of times people, who especially entrepreneurs, become really caught up in all of their to-dos, the multitude of things that they have on their plate, and they simply can't take action. So a lot of the work that I do allows them to free themselves from that mindset and start seeing results which can really have an impact on their business.
And what made you want to become a coach?
It was truly my personal struggles. I was able to overcome a lot with not only my mom's death in 2013, but her whole struggle was really a time where she became paralyzed by her fears. She had a difficult diagnosis, and she was really convinced she was just going to die. So for 5 years, we had to go through that together. And, you know, that journey just allowed me to see how we become trapped in our fears and what our mind tells us. And when she passed away in 2013, I was actually holding her hand at the time, and it was one of the most beautiful experiences of my life, because as she passed, I saw the most peaceful look that I've ever seen, and I knew in that instant that she was freed from everything that she had ever feared, and I was really determined to crack that code and figure out how I could bring that level of peace to people before they were in a situation in which they were going to pass away and actually live their life that way. So that was the big motivator in why I wanted to become a coach.
And, well, first of all, I'm sorry for the loss of your mom, but it seems like you also learned a lot from it, too.
Yeah, I really did. I mean, they say our gifts come wrapped in unusual packages, and, you know, I truly believe that she had reached the end of her journey in life, and she's doing bigger and better things now. And it really was the impetus that helped me to go on and truly serve the world with my inner purpose.
So what is the typical role, or what is your role as a coach when you're working with a client?
Yeah, it's really the mindset shift. It's helping them to realize that their fears are not real, and they have these thoughts that are often self-limiting beliefs, things that they've carried since a very young age. I often tell my clients there's a moment in your life where you're silenced, and it's a moment where, maybe we were sharing a funny joke that didn't go over too well, or just feel like, we did something that brought forward some feelings of shame. And when that happens, we decide, it's actually called our gremlin develops. And what that is, it's the protective mechanism to keep us from doing that again. So, we go through our whole life, and anytime we're about to take a big risk, oftentimes our self-limiting beliefs come in and prevent us from doing that. We play it safe. And so I really help entrepreneurs, coaches, and executives to overcome those self-limiting beliefs so that they can go on and live their greatness.
And that kind of brings me to my next question. So how is your coaching different from other coaches in your field?
Well, my background is in energy leadership. I've actually been certified through IPEC to deliver an assessment that assesses an individual's level of energy based on 7 different levels. And then I've also gone through the Reiki certification process to realize how our chakras in our body, we actually have 7 power centers in our body that when they're blocked, they prevent us from going out and doing what we do best in the world. For instance, sometimes you'll find you have a scratchy throat and you're not able to clear it. Well, that's because your physical throat chakra is blocked, and it's all energy. We don't realize that everything in our life is truly energy. So I've been fascinated from a young age with how energy works in our body to allow us to live out our legacy or not. And so I apply all of those principles in many different ways to allow people to step out with integrity, to commit to things, and really play big again and free themselves from that cage that's been holding them back.
In my research, you say the words magnetic presence. What is a magnetic presence, and how do you help your clients create it?
Yeah, magnetic presence is just, we all know it when we see it. It's that person that just looks like they're glowing, they're radiant, and they command the attention of everyone that is listening to them. These are the true leaders, and oftentimes they're leading with a real understanding of who they are at the being level. And so I help people to discover who that person is and also to commit to it. I often say our work together allows my clients to live in a glass house, meaning that, whatever you say you're doing, you're actually doing, no matter if anyone's looking or not. You're fully committing, playing all out. And when we do that, it becomes so grounded and we become so connected to our true self that it becomes magnetic. Others see that in us. They trust us. They feel our presence. And it's just an amazing shift in the way that people lead.
So what do you think the top 3 things that stop entrepreneurs from achieving their goals, whether it be professional or, business financial goals?
That's a great question. I would say number 1 is fear. Fear holds us back. It's actually an illusion, as I mentioned before. It's false evidence appearing real. And when we start to unravel those fears, we can realize that. But fear is something that I think all of us have, and especially entrepreneurs. And the second one would be self-limiting beliefs. These, like I mentioned, are the things that, they can begin with the first cries as an infant when we are looking for love and acceptance from our caregivers. And then when we don't get it, we create these beliefs inside that are also an illusion, but they can really guide us for the rest of our lives. And I would have to say my third is our attachment to outcomes. We live so much of our life looking for whether it's material possessions or a job title or, so many different things. And we're so attached to getting that or acquiring that in our life. And we do this, in other ways in which, we just really want to reach a goal. And if we don't, we just think about what that'll do to us. When we do that, we lose the moments and we don't enjoy our life. We don't actually live. We're so in the future state that we lose the present moment. So I help my clients to surrender that. And that's really hard for a lot of high-powered, achieving people who've done a lot in their life and are used to that, to just shift that completely. So I love that piece of it too, because when they do, it changes everything for them. It's like they get their vitality back.
So it's kind of like the aha moment.
Yeah, it's an aha moment. And oftentimes I see my clients looking a lot lighter after they've done work with me. And it's all that pressure that they're able to free up.
Use the energy elsewhere, I would assume.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So how do you help the clients that you work with to commit daily?
Great question. I hold them accountable. I would think that's one of the biggest things that I do, holding them accountable to their commitments. So they will declare what their commitments are, and then I'll follow up with them at different checkpoints to ensure that they've achieved what they've set their mind on doing. I also raise the bar and help them see that they are worthy of achieving greatness in all aspects of their lives. A lot of times when we start to get back on our path, we start to see our light again, and it's scary to us. And we also worry about outshining other people in our lives, and we start to shy away from doing things. And I see my role as a coach as being that person that will keep cheering them on and, helping them to see that this path to greatness has no upper limit. And let's see how far we can go together. And I also help shift their mindset so they can see past all their fears and self-limiting beliefs.
So what are a few practices that somebody can implement immediately to begin to overcome either the inability to commit or basically to take action?
Yeah, I think, the fear portion is really important here. Again, to deconstruct the fear, to start asking yourself some questions around the fear, to pull it apart. And when you start to do that, you realize that there's really nothing tangible within that fear. So I give them a methodology, a way of doing that that's really helpful. It's something that they can try at any point in their life to distinguish whether or not they should listen to that voice in their head. I would have to say another thing that I do is I explain to these people the need for taking a purposeful pause. A purposeful pause is something that is so important to people who tend to have these workaholic tendencies. And we often, as entrepreneurs, see ourselves as the master creators in our world, and we're doing. And a lot of this work is shifting us to more of a being level where we can enjoy life. And part of that is taking breaks so that we can fill our tank again and not get to that, feeling of low energy and feeling drained. So these are really important pauses for people that I work with. And I would have to say someone who's in a situation where they're feeling overwhelmed and just not sure what to do, but they're aware that they don't feel they can really get to the success that they're desiring to be at, I would suggest that they think about hiring a coach, because coaches can be extremely helpful in helping you break all of your barriers.
That kind of brings me right to my next question, which is, what are some typical reasons that somebody actually might want to hire a coach?
Yeah, a coach will help people to feel empowered. And, a lot of times, especially when we run our own businesses without a partner, don't really have that person to brainstorm with all the time. We can allow ourselves to get off our path and not even realize it, and then we start feeling bad about ourselves and different things like that. So a coach ensures that you're feeling empowered the whole journey. And like I said before, the accountability piece is really big with coaches. I would have to say a coach can help you see past what your beliefs are and really get down to the root of the issue, so that once you begin to develop that awareness of what is holding you back, that becomes your power. Awareness is power. That's something I say all the time. The more self-aware we are, the more ability we have for self-mastery. And that's because awareness alone always gives us a choice to do something the same or differently the next time. And when we remove the judgment about it and we just see things as they are, then we realize that we can simply, respond in whichever way we desire at any given moment. So these are all some of the things that I provide to my coaching clients, these ways of thinking that really help them get to that next level.
And so how long do you typically work with your clients?
I've given this a lot of thought as to how much time is needed for a transformation of sorts. And some of the results, which can be pretty epic, actually begin as early as day one. Some of these mind shifts can really create those results very quickly. But 4 weeks is a real good amount of time for my clients to see a pretty significant change, a sustained change. And then I often do a lot of breakthrough types of coaching, laser-focused coaching in the beginning, some VIP days, different things like that, and then put them more on a maintenance schedule, which can be, some people even go beyond a year, but, typically it's 4 weeks to a year.
Okay. And so how can the success of the coaching process be measured?
I measure my success by the results that my clients are seeing, and I think we both tend to enjoy that process for measuring the effectiveness. And, when they start seeing results, that allows them to take more action, which builds the momentum, and they keep, seeing results, and it leads to more action. So it's really been a great way to build that progressive process of them achieving more and more and more success in their job.
So that when they're building momentum.
Yeah, the momentum building process. So that's why I say imperfect action is so important. Just get out there and start taking action. When we don't take action, we can't achieve any results in our life. So I try and help them realize it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, double check, triple check. Just get out there and start doing it. It's better than doing nothing. And that seems to be really motivating.
How do I know that you would be a good business coach for me? What are some, how do I know that this would be a good match?
Yeah, it's a great question. I often tell my clients to check in with their intuition. I offer a complimentary discovery call with me, and typically if they're on the call with me, they intuitively sense that there's a connection, that I would probably help them in some way. There's a synergy or something I offer that they're looking for. So I feel it's really important for them to touch or get into their heart space and really get connected to what their intuition is telling them. And then as they're on the discovery call, typically they'll have enough validation to know if they want to work with me.
Okay, so that discovery call is not only for you, but for the potential client too.
Absolutely, yes.
And so what do you expect from your clients?
I expect them to be open and honest with me. I try to create a really safe environment in which they understand that it's truly confidential. Everything they share with me is confidential. And the more honest and openness that they can use in their communication with me, the better our results. So I expect that from them. I also expect their courage and willingness to walk the path with me and to start trusting in the process, and to also trust in me that, the reason that I'm here to guide other people in this journey is because I've walked this path already. I've been through the entire process that I take them through, so I can be that guide to them. And so trust is really important.
Okay, so then what should your clients expect from you?
Yeah, that's a great question. Also, I think it's very similar. They should expect the same from me. I am very honest with them about the expectations for the coaching situation. I'll even use the mentoring in my coaching. I'm not a straightforward coach that doesn't share any of my own story. There are moments where I share my vulnerabilities from the past and how I overcome different things, because I feel it's really helpful for them to see my own progression. I also am extremely committed to helping them live out their dreams. So I really want to emphasize that with my clients and help them to understand that, nothing's going to stand between my commitment to them. And again, that confidential nature of our relationship, I really feel it's important that they know they can reveal anything with me and it will be completely safe.
Okay, yeah, I guess yes, because your clients typically are exposing different parts of their life and different strengths and different weaknesses. So confidentiality is, really important for anybody opening up to somebody like that, because coaching only works if you're honest and open.
Exactly. Yeah, and I always share that with my clients, because you're really only cheating yourself. Anything you're keeping in and not sharing with me is just, hurting yourself as far as us getting past that. And that's where, with coaching, our own judgment and shame and guilt are the worst emotions we can ever feel. And I consider my coaching really the true motivation of having me as a coach is I take you back to your power centers. And when we live our life out of shame or guilt for what we've done in the past, we have no power. We're so focused on that past situation that we can't step into the present and command whatever it is that we're experiencing. So it's really important throughout the coaching to let go of the judgment. So if you're not going to share something with me, why is that? What's holding you back? And most likely, that's a pattern. That's something you've done your whole life maybe. And when we can start breaking those patterns, that's where, true transformation is occurring, because it's truly our patterns that are what holds us back, our habits, our patterns, our mindset. And we can shift all of that with the programming that we work on to, reprogram the brain through the coaching.
Okay. So if you had one piece of advice for somebody who's looking to achieve exceptional personal growth in either business or even life, what would that be?
I would advise them to silence their mind, to take that purposeful pause, and to tap into their heart space, to start trusting what their intuition and their heart is telling them, because it's never wrong. If you think back to experiences in your life where you didn't listen to your intuition and the result of that, or when you did listen to your intuition, what was the result of that? I think oftentimes you'll find that you felt pretty expansive and free when you listened to it. And so I encourage people to do that more often and start living their life from a whole different perspective.
Okay, so I have one last question for you.
Okay.
If somebody wanted to get in contact with you for any of your services, how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, I would love to talk to anyone who's interested, and you can reach out to me. I have 2 Facebook pages. I have a personal one, and then I have like a public profile. So you can, try and request to be a friend on Facebook, either one. I also have a LinkedIn profile. You can connect with me there. And I also encourage you to schedule a discovery call with me. You can go to www.dailynavigation.com, and there's actually a schedule page there, or you can visit me on www.kristinswarcheck.com.
Okay, great. Well, Kristin, I really appreciate your time today. I loved all of your answers. This was really a great interview.
Thank you. It was really fun. I love sharing this with people, so I look forward to hearing from anyone that this resonated with. Thank you, Alicia, for having me as a guest.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Yeah, this was great. So, and like I said, your information was valuable, and you're apparently, you are extremely passionate about working with your clients, and it comes out in your interview.
Thank you.
All right, you guys, you've heard from Kristin Swarcheck, and this is your host, Alicia DeBrell from Insight Media. Until next time.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.